Hello?
Hello, hi. Is this the owner of 203 South 2nd Street?
It is.
Hello, hi. My name is Zach, and I'm calling here on your Zillow listing. And I'm actually looking this with my partner right now, and we had a couple questions if you had the time.
Sure.
Okay, well, my name is Zach. What's your name, by the way?
Ty.
Ty? Okay, Ty. And this is my partner, Rick.
Hey, Ty, how you doing? I'm just I'm looking at your property here online, and was it a rental house that you were just doing some work on it after like they moved out, or what's going on with it?
Well, it was fixed up by a previous guy that I knew, over a couple of years, and I've done quite a bit of cleaning and stuff myself.
Okay, so what's the it says a majority of the work's done. What's really left to be done on this property?
A couple of windows need to be replaced. I guess there's like a shower head in the bathroom. One of the bathrooms is not totally finished. It needs a shower head and like a faucet, stuff like that.
Okay, and what did you? I assume, did you use this as like a rental house, or what was the purpose you used it for? So I'm trying to make sure I get the right use for it.
Well, I suppose you could use it for that. I wasn't going to do that. I figured of moving in for a bit, but then I decided to go elsewhere.
Okay. What do you think the total dollar it needs, like, just to get it done? I mean, I can't tell till I get there. That's why I'm just trying to do some pre-screening over the phone and see like dollar amount. You know this property. What would you have to put in it just to get it ready for you, like you to move into it, or like even the average renter? Because that's what I can't quite put a number on it based on the pictures.
Well, I guess it depends on your standards too. Like I would even move in right now. If you're fine with, I have the windows all closed up and stuff, and the garage door needs a new, the spring is broke for the garage door, but you can still probably open it manually, stuff like that. I mean, technically it is still, you could move in, but it's just mainly cosmetic stuff like windows. There's a gutter on the side too in the photo, fix the gutter, stuff like that. I guess it would take maybe, if you figure if you want to get a good window, a couple $100. Some of them are smaller too. I think it's one big one and the rest are pretty small. So, figure maybe $500 to $1,000 in windows if you want to get brand new ones, stuff like that, I guess.
I got it. And then what's the, how old is that roof on there?
Oh, it's older and there's a few shingles missing, but I checked in the attic and I don't see any leaks.
Okay. So is it like 20 years old, or do you have any idea? I assume it's just wood with shingles on the top, right?
Yeah, it's probably 15, 20 years old, but I sure don't see any leaks. It probably would need to be replaced within a few years.
Yeah. You have any idea the cost to replace a roof? And I'm not 100% familiar with the area, but like the going rate, like it's not a complicated roof.
Oh, I would say maybe at least a couple thousand. Usually if there's a lot of valleys and stuff, there's some peaks, but it wouldn't be too hard, I guess. Probably at least a few thousand.
Got it. I got it. Okay. And the pictures, how old are those pictures that I'm looking at online that you have on Zillow there?
Oh, they're just from late last year.
Late last year. Are they pretty accurate of what like the current condition of it is right now?
Yeah, I don't think anything has changed really.
And I assume you're keeping an eye on this property?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And how long have you owned it for, Ty?
Oh, about a year, going on a year pretty soon.
Okay. So you bought it with the plans of moving into it, correct?
Yeah, I figured I was going to, because I guess it's not, the location, plus the town has a grocery store and stuff. The location's really not too bad. It's not too far from Dickinson. There's a lot going on there, but I decided to just stay in Bismarck or a bigger city.
I got it. Okay. And approximately how far is it from Bismarck?
Oh, I think it's like 50 miles or something, and then Dickinson, the next large town, is like 40 or so.
Got it. Okay.
And so, so you bought it a year ago, and so I'm just trying to look at, so how did you acquire this property if it was kind of a fixer-upper? Like, was this on the market for a while and it was like ugly? Did you buy this like from the county? Like, what was the situation with it?
There was a guy that had it, and he got into some legal problems, and I knew the guy from work.
Got it.
It was a coworker.
Okay. So this seems like an interesting property. And as you know, we're actually from Florida, but we don't want to be buying houses for $2 million for rentals over here and have our property insurance go up 50% year over year. And we're just looking for, cheaper real estate that we can get good cash flow on. And that's kind of the reason we're calling. So the price was interesting to us. But the main issue why I did want to call, it looks like it's been listed for 200 days here. I mean, like, what's going on? Like, is it just, are you getting no offers on the property?
Oh, I've had lots of activity, and I've had some people. I was actually going to sell it maybe a month or two ago, but then I had two families look at it, but then both of them, they were really interested. They didn't even have to negotiate on the price. They said it's priced right, and I'll take it. But then when the time came for them to get a loan or get the funding, they couldn't get it. So it would have been sold, but I think they just both had bad credit.
It was them. Did it get appraised at all? The property?
Price. Oh, yeah, I did drop it too.
No. What I'm asking is, did the property get appraised? And is that why the loan didn't go through?
The only appraisal that I got is through the tax, whatever, the county. And they say it's like 45 or something like that. They say it's worth, but how accurate that is, sometimes they're too high, sometimes they're too low.
Yeah.
I was going to sell it for 56, but they just couldn't get a loan.
Got it. Okay. No, I was just saying because sometimes the bank appraisal comes too high or too low,
yeah.
and that's the reason. So I was just thinking the bank said it was worth too much or something like that. Okay. So this seems like something that we could potentially look to buy for a rental property. But again, Rick's always he's been buying houses for 20 plus years, and he's always worried when a property sits for a while. We were really interested in the last line, a contract for deed options, down payments. Like, what kind of terms were you thinking on something like that?
I would prefer just to sell it outright, and I've had tons of people come to me for contract for deed too, but I mainly turn them down because I've had in the past, actually, I've had bad experiences with that because I've sold them with contract for deed and I didn't have a huge down payment, and then they end up changing their mind or leaving, and then when they leave, they trash the place. So the only way I would do contract for deed is with a huge down payment.
I got it. So my concern is just the money that I have to put into it because I'm looking at the roof like a long-term play, especially being a guy from Florida, and your prices are reasonable. But if you do the creative financing correctly and somebody does the repairs and puts up the money, how much were you looking to, what do you consider a sizable amount down? Just so we can understand.
I've usually been I get plenty of messages on that, and I always tell them at least probably half, because I've taken 10, 25% before, and I end up getting screwed. So I do require at least half down on a contract for deed.
Can I, how did you get screwed? They just walked away from it, or?
Yeah, I've had they decide they change their mind, or maybe they lose their work eventually, and then they can't make the payments, or they change their mind, they go somewhere else instead of making the payments, they go get a cheap apartment somewhere, and they leave all their junk behind.
I got it.
They end up getting into drugs or family problems, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's more of the quality of the buyer that puts it together with that. So I've been doing real estate for 20 years. We're just looking for more affordable markets. I know I'm gonna have to put some money into it. I think it's gonna be a little bit more than what you're telling me, because let me ask you this: in your best guesstimate, if you had to rent that out tomorrow, what do you think? What would the real market rent rate be in your area?
I see in that city they got some for rent for like a 1 or 2 bedroom go about 500. So you figure a 4 bedroom, maybe 800, maybe 9, somewhere around there, I would guess.
Well, I could get you close to your price if you're looking to do something like creative. But here's the difference: is if whatever money we put up and plus the repairs, if you do a contract for deed or anything like that, if you do it correctly, if I do not live up to my payments and my obligation, you just get the house back, like no foreclosure, no nothing. How have you done those agreements in the past where you felt like you got taken advantage of?
Yeah, there's a clause in the contract. Yeah, if they don't live up to obligation, whatever it is, and then I just have to. They give them notifying, and a written notice that they failed if I can find the person, and then I end up canceling the contract basically, and then having to go through and clean everything out, change locks, whatever, or even an eviction. If that's the case. It.
Well, I am a cash guy. I would like to make you an offer, that would be all cash. It's going to be low just because I know I have to put some work on it. Or I could get you close to your price if we could agree on amount to put up. But here's the difference is if I'm responsible for the payment and everything, the last thing I want to do is give you X amount of dollars, fix it up, and then have it all taken away from me. Because actually you could just turn around and sell it for more and do it right. Because you don't have to foreclose. You do a contract for deed, an installment contract, any type of executory contract. You should be in complete control. Have you worked with a lawyer in the past to help you do that paperwork to protect your rights?
Yeah, I've had lawyers before, yeah.
Okay. So these people were difficult when they left, meaning they gave you no notice and they left you a train wreck?
Well, sometimes you can tell, when if they leave junk in the yard or,
yeah,
stuff like that. But, I would think, too, that they wouldn't want to just put all the money into it and then leave. But some people do that. They just don't care, I think.
I got it.
But,
well, I can do it either way. My concern is how long the property's been on the market and it needs some more work on it. And I like to do creative offers because I think both parties win when you do it. I'm going to be a different quality because I'm not living there. I'm responsible for the upkeep. What if we fixed it up and put like $6,500 up front, and on the conditions, if we don't meet our obligations within 30 days, there's no foreclosure. You just get the property back. And you could do it with your lawyer. I could work with my lawyer, like whatever you want to do, or I can make you a cash offer. I don't want to insult you, Ty. I'm going to be like honest with you. I think you got a decent deal there. I think it needs more work than what you and me both think it does. And I know this because I own a lot of property, and I'd like to own a property up there. It's got to make like real common sense, because I got to buy one or two and figure out the area and figure out the market rents and what the pricing is on roofs and all that other fun stuff. Then I want to look at like some better properties. Maybe even you can point me out in the areas where I can get like decent properties, one or two pay grades above this where I can get like decent amount of rents. Because the problem is finding the decent amount of rents in the area to support the real estate numbers.
Well, what would it be for a cash offer? What would you offer?
Well, I mean, you're offering at 51. I don't think you had any real offers. Would you consider an offer 100% cash, like 30K, like done and gone?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a place, if you look on the Zillow there too, you'll see it. It's just about a block to the northwest there. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, no basement. The garage is all falling apart. That's pending right now for $35,000.
But the main issue is when a property's sitting this long, it gets, if we bought it cash, our return on our rental is going to go down a lot more. I see this one's pending. I mean, your property's been pending though before too. So I don't really use that as a comparable. And unfortunately, due to the work that I'm probably gonna have to have my guys work on it, now I'm the guy that actually has to run out over there and manage all the fixing of this. 30,000 is kind of what we calculated based on what we got to put into it. Getting that 500 a month after all this work, 30,000 is what we have to do for that to work. That's why, I don't think we wanted to kind of spit out that cash offer to you first, because I feel like, if you want more money, you can just go with the payment option.
But keep in mind, Ty, is if we came up to your price, gave you $6,500 up front and fixed the house. Remember, if I don't live up my obligation on a simple installment contract, like you hit a home run, because the only way I'm going to rent that up is I'm going to have to, do the finishings on it. I know it's not a lot of money, but it is time consuming. And then somebody eventually has to deal with the roof over time. So it's, I know it looks good now, but all roofs have a shelf life. So that's why I kind of hesitate with the cash offer. I get that, but like I'm making a blind risk somewhat at the point. If we did something creative with an installment contract, you get more money. I get a little bit more leverage to kind of work into the property. And then I really have to wait for the rents to go up over time. But keep in mind, I'm not living into it. I would just be responsible for the payment and the tenant. So your headache is with me, not with them. I apologize some of the past experience you've had with it, but like I've had it's 10 times worse in Florida. I can tell you that. I've had some of the worst horror stories ever. And those are just on straight up rentals, because it takes us 30 days to get them out. Let me ask you this, your rental laws right there, are they like landlord friendly, or is it hard to do an eviction in North Dakota?
you got to go do a court order, serve a notice, and it's up to, I think, about the fastest you can get it done is maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, I get it. So it's about 30 days in Florida.
And just letting you know, like, I'm not coming out with this offer just like off my hip. Like the closest one I see here is 302 D Street. And you can look at the pictures on Zillow. I mean, they've that one was pending for 2 or 3 months, and it recently sold for $50,000. And if you look at the pictures, it's kind of the standards that we probably want to put it at. And so us assuming buying it for $30,000, putting in the work, and then having a property getting $500 a month, this is where we're coming out. We're not coming out here just to give you offers off the hip. Like that's what we see. I'd love to go offer that other one that sold for 35, but it didn't close, and I'm seeing a lot of people having financing issues buying in that area.
I would definitely have to think it over. Then I'm not too sure. I don't know.
So Ty, why don't you do this? Think it over the cash over. It's real though. Like there's like sometimes you just get to the end of the line on a property and it is worth what it's worth. If it works for you, great. If not, consider doing our deed for contract. I'm willing to write it up with a lawyer and put my butt out there. Remember, I'm not the end user. The idea is to make the finances work. So there is a huge difference between a financial guy owning it and like an end user doing it. As long as you have the paperwork and you're comfortable with it. And I have to live up to my end of the obligation. You have to live up to yours. And I get it. I have to manage the tenant, and that's the risk I take on with it. But either one, each one has its advantages. I thought I'd just give you a call with my partner and see what you're thinking. I appreciate you taking our phone call. And do you have any other questions for us?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm just definitely have to think this over. Maybe I'll get back to you decide here.
Okay. Well, I have your information here. If we think of anything else, can we just give you a call back in the next day or two?
Yep.
Okay. You have any questions?
That's it.
Okay,
I really
man.
appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
There you go. Not bad,
easy.
Right? I mean,
so like that would be that's an easy one.
That's easy.
It's not really a state I'm looking to buy in, but
no, I mean, that's almost half off the listing price. Like
but guys, I want you to understand it. Like, you notice how like it gets awkward when you ask them like, hey, what's your cash price? Just spit out the low number. They're never going to like it.
This is a FSBO, so it's a little different, obviously,
Yeah.
right? But spit it out. And I'm having some comps like showing it, but like the property's probably worth 40 to a buyer, 35 right now, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's like 5, 6, 7, 8 grand. Like it's not terrible. And you just get a Bismarck buyer and get it sold. I mean,
you got to spit it out. But like he put an indication in there for creative financing. So without that, I would have gone to the cash offer. And then when that runs out of gas, I just kind of throw it out there. Hey, you open something creative, and they either kind of say, tell me more about it, or hell no. And that's typically how they go out. I don't know if that's like a North Dakota thing, but on average, that's how they kind of go down.
oh yeah. So we're looking at this.
What is that? Is that a pipe in the middle of the stairs?
All right. Let's,
Oh God.
all right. Tell me what you think here.
Dude, I think we're going to be talking to the guy on the lawnmower.
I want to talk to him. Oh, that's a nice doggy.
The dog knows.
This guy loves his lawn. I'll tell you that.
He's going to be salty, dude. Look at all that effort he put into the laundry room. Dude, what is that? That's something you see in like a horror movie. Like
I told you, this is a horror movie.
I'm taking
house.
you down to, oh Lord.
That's where they take you at the end. It's really good.
Look at all the wood rot at the bottom. That's not good. It's a leaky basement. Is that what you call a basement in the Dakotas?
Oh, Lordy.
Dude, this guy's going to be salty, man.
He might be sweet.
He's not. He's got his garden. He's got a pipe running through the stairs, and he's got a hostage basement.
Think about this. That's where we could put the gurus if we buy the house. So
A gurus would never talk to the guy because he's not a licensed realtor.
Okay.
Just saying. Dude, this guy's just going to be brutal, man. I just got a feeling. Love Zillow FSBOs.
All right. Let's just read this for a second. Songbirds sounding out all the time. Oh, Lord.
Woodwork of it. What's that? Woodwork of interior is charming, which means it's old. Galore. Upland and waterfowl hunting galore, which means he's in the middle of nowhere.
Nicer, older home, 3 lots adjoined, half an acre.
Massive star show at night.
You know what? I'll tell you this. You never know till you call. You never know. So we're calling. Oh, boy. Pray for me.
He's going to be a salty old. Anyways, that's.
Hello, hi. Is this the owner of 201 Madison Avenue?
Yes.
Hello, hi. My name is Zach. I'm actually looking at the property here on Zillow. Do you still have it for sale?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, I was actually looking at this property with my partner. And are you the guy on the lawnmower here I see in the picture?
Most likely. My wife posted it. She's kind of in charge of all the sale of it and all.
Okay.
Being the computer whiz, anyway, I kind of turned the project over to her, but I'm willing to answer any questions.
Okay, perfect. Well, my name is Zach. What is your name?
Dan?
Dan. Nice to meet you, Dan. This is my partner, Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, Dan. How you doing? I assumed you were a guy on the riding lawnmower because that would be me. So can you tell me, are you guys living in the property or what's going on with it at this moment?
Right. Okay. Well, we bought a place in the Bitterroot Valley, Montana.
Oh, wow.
About 12 years ago, and sought an opportunity to get the house paid off as soon as possible, and so we bought that little place in Dodge about 12 years ago for $35 plus the interest of $5. We paid $40,000 for it back 2013, I believe. 12, 13. Anyway, yeah, but we've moved back. We've gotten out of debt. We've moved back last spring about this time to the Bitterroot Valley, and now that house is for sale. So nobody's living in it. Long answer to a short question.
I got it. So it's vacant right now, right?
Yes.
And you're in Montana right now?
Yes.
Awesome. So that's so are you from North Dakota or Montana or?
Well, about 12 years ago, we moved from Montana to North Dakota, and now we've moved back to Montana.
So which one you like better? Obviously Montana.
Well, if you can see the view that I see from here.
I can't see it, yeah.
Yeah, Montana is ultimately much better. There's actually trees here.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess what I'm really trying to call is, I appreciate you taking the call, is I see it's been on the market for a little while. Is there any issues that are coming up with the house, or like what's the biggest reservation when people have been looking at that house?
Right. Well, I just had an older guy who lives in North Dakota and his wife who wanted to retire and in a small town and not have a big investment so that they could use that money to retire on, to restore homes or whatever they needed to do. He looked at it and he says for his age at 69, it was just too big of a project for him.
Yeah.
The yard work, the maintenance of the flower beds and the maintenance of the yard and the trees. It takes a couple hours to mow the lawn and to take care of it. I'm paying a guy now to do that. But his major objection was that it was just too much of a outdoor kind of project, yard landscaping maintenance for a man that age wanting to retire. That's what he said after walking through the house.
Yeah.
I don't know that was all.
Yeah.
But that's what he said. Whether he was trying not to offend me or what.
No, I got it. And what do you pay to get someone to take care of the lawn around there, just to keep it from overtaking the house? What's that run a month?
Well, I pay a guy $75 every 2 weeks
to go in and mow the lawn and weed eat around the edges.
Got it.
So the city has a new rule, and they're wanting to make money. They're going to charge $150 every time they mow the lawn when it gets over a foot deep. So
they just.
I'd rather have a private individual do it than the city. So
I get
I'm
it.
hiring somebody to do that.
Is he maintaining your garden for you, or I assume that's moved to Montana?
Yeah, the garden it's just the black tarp.
I got it. And then
Fiber.
how old's that roof on that property?
Well, I don't know. I moved there 12 years ago, and it was old when I went there. It doesn't leak, but it's certainly older than the 15 years that the insurance company's kind of going to rape you for.
I got it. And that leads me to my next question. What do you pay for insurance on that property in a year?
I don't.
Oh, you're smart. You just kind of self-insure it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not interested in
I got it.
Giving somebody money for nothing.
No, I get it. So, I mean, I like the size of it.
Right.
But my question is, when it comes down to like doing some renovations, what outside of the lawn, I got a good grasp of that. I mean, you got a good sized yard.
Right.
What does it need for like true renovations on the interior? Like,
okay. Well, the basement downstairs, because it's an old house.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a ceiling, and it's not a finished the basement.
Okay.
And the old concrete that they use, it doesn't really leak in there. I mean, there's no water running and through the floors or the walls.
Yeah, I see it there.
It's humid.
Yeah.
You can see that the Knotty Pine bedroom down in the basement has kind of a what they call an effervescence. It's something white crystal formation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm somewhat familiar. Do you run a dehumidifier down there or anything to try to contain it, or?
I never did. I never did. 12 years I was there, and that white mark on the boards. I was there when I got there, and it hasn't grown. It's just an effervescence. I don't know what the hell they call it, but anyway, it's a crystal formation.
I got it. I got this
moisture coming in from the concrete. Leaching in. Yeah.
These are all questions I have to deal with my wife on, just so you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Because she's not, we're not overly familiar with basements where we're coming from. We're just looking for some affordable living where we can get out and get it done. Have you had any offers on this property to date?
Well, I've had everybody that wants of the class of, excuse me for saying this, but
that's okay.
The class of people that would be interested in this little town and buying a house that costs less than a new Volkswagen Beetle,
Yeah.
Anybody that's in that class wouldn't necessarily be interested in a house like that. And so anybody that has the money to pay for it, I mean.
Yeah.
And so I've had lots and lots of offers to carry a contract with little or no down.
Yeah.
But people with big bucks, usually people with big bucks are smart people, and they're not usually wanting to pay cash for a house,
No, we're just, but the problem is on these smaller amounts, it's hard to get mortgages for, say like 50 grand. It's the banks don't even want to do that anymore. So,
no.
Yeah, because we're just looking for something to understand North Dakota without getting in over our heads, like summertime, and then possibly renting it out to somebody in our off season. But once again, it comes down to how much money we have to put into it. So I'm trying to figure on.
Okay, I would suggest that if you're going to carry insurance, have decent premiums. And if you want the house to last another 50 years or 20 years, you might want to put a tin roof on it or re-roof it, but the roof doesn't leak, and it probably won't leak for long periods of time. The garages don't leak, but the roofing on those look really bad.
I got it.
And that third lot, it's got a well on it.
Yeah.
But the well doesn't have a pump.
Uh-oh.
Otherwise, you're using city water, which is fine. City water, city sewer, city trash.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, another thing. It doesn't have a wood stove in it, and it does have a forced air kind of old propane furnace.
Mm-hmm.
And the motor needs replacement on that little furnace downstairs. It keeps the house warm, plenty warm. Got a 500-gallon propane tank. If I put 2 space heaters downstairs and 1 upstairs, electric, it's a hell of a lot cheaper to heat that house with electricity than it is with propane.
Yeah.
Because the price of propane, but that 500-gallon tank is part of the deal. It's not leased. It doesn't belong to anybody else. But I imagine the last people that we talked to just last week, they went and looked at it, and he said that he would, if the lawn wasn't so big and didn't require so much maintenance for an old man, and he's retiring on a lower income.
Yeah.
He said that he would probably put a tin roof on it. That's the only reason why I'm saying tin roof. But I don't know what else to say.
I don't know. Well, Dan, let's.
A good house for us.
Yeah.
During the 10 years I was there working in the oil field, I was able to pay off this house in Montana, and of course pay that one off, and new truck and cars for the wife, and just that's the savings and boost my Social Security income and such. But anyway, I'm rattling on about something.
No, that's all right. Is that what you did for a living? You worked in the oil fields?
Yeah.
Oh wow. What was your job?
I was a truck driver.
Awesome.
I drove an oil truck. Yeah.
I bet you can tell some stories on that.
Yeah, well, we were living here in Montana, and I heard some guy at church bragging about how he's going to make $200,000 a year driving a truck in North Dakota. Mm-hmm. So I jumped on that as opposed to the $40,000 a year I was making here as a carpenter. And I said, hell with this. So I went and drove truck over there. I never made $200,000 in a year, but anyway. Well, I'm out of debt and I'm retired, and
that's all that counts on that. So, Dan, listen, I appreciate you sharing all the information. I mean, I get it that the house needs some work. I would be looking at the roof and really turning that basement over to get it healthy and doing everything like that.
I put a carpet in there as soon as I moved in. That was 12 years ago, and that carpet is still good. It hasn't gotten wet. It's not destroyed. Good shape. It would probably need a ceiling and maybe a sheetrock. Yeah. Because that old fiberboard you can see in one of the pictures, it's got cowboys on it. It's kind of falling apart. That particle board with wallpaper on it.
Yeah. So Dan,
it's the maintenance if you wanted to use the whole.
No,
house.
I know, and that's why I'm trying to plan on like how much I got to pull out of my pocket after I buy it from you. Dan, have you actually got any like real offers on this place, like cash offers, like to close you out and get you rid of that property?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you this: if I offered you just cash, $30,000, because I'm gonna have to, between the roof and the basement, I'm just concerned of how much money I'm gonna have to put into it. Honestly, I don't know. It's an undetermined number. Yeah. Where are we at on that?
10 years ago, 12 years ago, I paid, including interest. I guess you don't include interest. I paid 35, and I'll wager that I put new floors in half of it, and I did. I remodeled the kitchen, and I did a lot of work. I added the third lot to it. Yeah. There was 2 originally, but now there's a third lot. 30,000 seems kind of like a stab in the back, but I'll talk to the wife about it. Why don't you call me back?
Well, talk to her. Like, don't shoot the messenger. If not, maybe you have an offer you want to come back. But I'm looking at the roof, the basement, and be honestly, just kind of update the kitchen for the wife. Yeah. You know how that works. And like, remember, I'm the guy who has to pay it at the end of the day. So like, I have to kind of wrap my number around. So I made you an offer. So why don't you just talk over the wife? I'll give you a couple days and I'll reach back to you and like don't take it personal. It's just an offer, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, I understand.
Yeah. Well, it would be a loss, a real loss. 10 years of equity, 10 years of maintenance, and 10 years of improvement on the property over. That would be $5,000 less.
No, I know, but like one of the things I don't control, Dan, is like the market, because I'm looking at a lot of properties within your range, and you're on a short list with it, and I'm just being fair. I kind of go through and figure out, some of them need too much work.
Yeah, obviously you're in business of making money from real estate, and I'm not.
No, I know, but like that's where this is kind of like a hobby project type of deal, and like sometimes I get over my head on it, and I was just calling you because it's been on the market for about 200 days. And like, sometimes you just got to find the price to make it work.
Where are you located?
I'm actually in Florida, but we're looking to, my kids are recent adults, and we're looking for a place to kind of travel to. And like, we love the North Dakota area. We don't know anything about it. So we're looking at like basically a starter home that we can travel to and possibly even rent in the off season.
Sure. Well, if Trump gets voted in, the bucket's going to go back in full bore.
Yeah.
And that house is going to be worth twice that.
Well, I hope so. So,
yeah.
So talk it over with the missus, and then we'll reach back out to you. And I appreciate your time, Dan. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like that offer. I mean, the only thing I would do, dude, it's 200 days, no offers. Like, why are you upset?
Well, he was very clear. He has no offers on it. And honestly, other than the garden, he hasn't put a dime into that house.
No. Hey, renovated the kitchen?
Yeah. So
renovated the kitchen.
Did you see that kitchen, man? That was just
let's show the picture really quick. He's so funny though.
He was actually really nice.
If he gets elected, and I hope
that basement.
I hope real estate doubles, right? That'd be great. Like, all my properties be worth double, but just FYI, whoever is the president, it's not going to double your property values in the next year. I'm not going to give anyone a political opinion, but whoever is going to get elected, they're not going to double your property values. And if you're voting for someone because you think that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But like, look at this. It's yellow. Can't make no money on this.
Yeah. I mean, he bought it in a derelict position, and he put no money into it. And it's in a place where there's not a huge demand for it. So we're doing this for authenticity. So you guys know we're not like picking the sellers. We don't call realtors because that's just a waste of time. That's what gurus do. So when he gets talking and he volunteers, hey, I worked on the oil fields, I'm like, tell me more about it. It's just a pride thing, guys. If you want to connect with people, they got to. So that's just the initial conversation past stranger danger. Once again, I don't think it'd be hard to get him to come to the plate. They've already left. They're in Montana. The home's sitting there, and he thinks it's costing him a fortune to maintain it. The home is completely outdated. It would be a really tough rental for anybody. I mean, it needs a good 15, 20 grand worth of work. So it's the numbers are actually dead on. But listen, when you throw the number out there, just throw it out there and you want a reaction off of it. But here's the key is my key question I asked him, he had 0 offers. So you can't insult people when they don't even have an offer. So like, just ask it, and it starts a negotiation, and you talk to them and let them talk about themselves as much as they humanly possibly can. It really helps with building the rapport on them. So it's
no, like, I mean, do we care that he was making 200 grand as a truck driver? No, but it makes him feel good. And guess what? Like, we will call him. What we do in that situation is you call him back and you kind of put the heat on him, right? Like, hey, like, this isn't something you can mull over with your wife for the next month, right? Like, I need a decision next week. What I would do is I'd follow up with this guy next week and say, hey, I actually have a deal in Bismarck that we're actually looking to buy now.
Yeah.
But they're kind of iffy about the price. This is actually a contract for deed, and we got to only go with one. So are you good for the $30,000 or not? Boom.
Guys, if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. And like, I think I'm asking for steep discounts, but we're starting right off the bat at, 55, 60 cents on the dollar. That's when properties sit on the market that long. They're just unrealistic sellers.
Here's the issue. Like, the guy's been sitting there for 200 days, which makes a little motivation. But if he's willing to sit on it for 200 days, he's probably willing to sit on it again. The reason why we only call FSBOs over 100 days old is because it's been sitting for 200 days. No, you can tell with this guy, no wholesaler called them. None.
Yeah, no. But that could be a North Dakota thing. Remember how we do it randomly? You
can wholesale North Dakota easily.
You can't. You just got to get the right numbers.
It's shocking no wholesaler called them because they're over. No one calls FSBOs over 100 days old, and that's where the money really is at here.
And that's probably what, $600 a month rental. So if you can buy it at 30 and put $5,000 into it from a cash on cash return, not a bad way to do it. And this is how you figure out like how to buy these types of properties, especially in virtual markets. Obviously North Dakota is not your ideal market. We picked it off of a spinner for authenticity, but just read the room. And so like, I'll ask them, what do you think? What does this thing rent for? Sellers will give you so much information. You just got to talk to them. But when you sit there and do an interrogation on these people, it's painful. I get it, guys. It's hard to sit there and talk to someone 15, 20 minutes just to get to a price. But unfortunately, that's what it takes with most FSBOs. And that's why it is a painful process.
Yeah. And, before we, hop on the dialer, which I think everyone's excited for too, let me answer some questions they have with you and everyone on this. Sounds like Rick is speaking if he's the buyer. Once the seller sees the contract, he finds out you weren't. Can you explain? We set the expectation. We have partners.
Yeah, and that's
easy.
That's the easiest part of it, because when you sign a contract and it's an assignable, they don't actually get notified till the closing. And they don't go, oh, by the way, somebody else is buying our contract. It just has a different buyer's name on the HUD. And 9 times out of 10, they don't even pay attention to it. Guys, it's not a big deal. And you notice the one thing he said to me, he goes, I expect you to make a profit. He goes, you're expecting to make a profit. I never deny it. I don't go, no. I'm a charity and I do this for free. Obviously, we're buying it to make it a profit. He's had it on the market 200 days. He's ripe for an offer. He just needs a little bit more time to soak on it. And if I was in North Dakota tacking, I would just be tearing up this area, because it sounds like you can buy houses around 30K. They're not going to get the strongest amount of rents, but as people are complaining about the cost of living everywhere, like, very interesting in North Dakota. But I don't know if I would survive a winter there. And I don't want to ask about a winter, because then I really start to sound like a foreigner and I sound like an idiot. So you can't do it too much.
I only picked the guy because you didn't want to call him.
I saw the guy in the loan market. Please don't call that guy. But you know what?
Hey, that's an absentee owner. That guy listed it forever. That's actually a decent deal. And the truth about cold calling, especially these type of properties, you don't know what you have until you call them. You really don't.
And so all these guys, like, they're not being pitched by a lot of wholesalers. If you want to go at like the creative financing route, but you'd have to find out what someone's willing to put up front. The problem in those neighborhoods, people are going to put up much more than $2,000. So like, you can't be offering the seller, like I said, $5,000 just because I'm so used to Florida. Probably they're probably giving $1,000 or $2,000 at best.
Yeah.
So remember, you got to get that money from your rent to owners, your tenants. So if you offer 10 and you only get $1,000 or $2,000, like, you're going to run out of money quick. So most of these people are pretty flexible. Go, listen, what if and the first one, I let them know, hey, I'm going to be making the payments, but I'm not living there. I know how tenants can be, but remember, I'm responsible. If I don't live up to my obligation, you get the property back in 30 days. He probably did a handshake deal with some sort of investor, and then it fell apart. And that's where he didn't know how to unwind it. And he felt like he got screwed. So sometimes letting them know you're a business professional, you can help them out doing terms for a deed for contract, an installment, or an executory. They actually feel better because you actually have some money and some responsibility into the deal. Remember, when you do that type of deal with an end user, they have no idea, and their mind might change with the wind, and they'll walk away from $500 like there's no tomorrow. So maybe just double it or give them like $1,000 or $1,500, and you could easily do a contract for deed on that one.
I agree. Also, guys, FYI, we're going to answer some questions really quick, and then I'm going to get ready for the dialer. I got to set it all up. But I want you guys to comment, what list do I pull for you guys and in what zip code? And I'll pull it, skip trace it, throw in the dialer really quick, and I want to do a free deal for you guys. So if I find a good seller, I will give it to whoever commented the deal. Okay? So give me your criteria, and I'll pull it, and we'll skip it. And what I would do is basically we'll do on the dialer when we're done answering some questions, and I will be calling them and we're going to get some deals. And so that'd be pretty cool to do. So watch me on the dialer for the next hour. But give me the list criteria you guys want, and then give me exactly the zip code. I need the zip code. We got to get specific here. And I will pull it, and we'll do it from there. But the thing about that, like, no wholesalers talking to them. You can easily wholesale in North Dakota. But the one thing when you're in a market that's not that crazy, you can't buy too high.
No, you can't. And you actually have to be on the low side.
You have to be. Like, it has to be a crazy deal.
Because remember, I'm not buying for what I think it's worth. Like, I'm the opposite. I'm buying to solve your problem today. You've had it on the market 200 days. I get it. You bought it for 35, 40, whatever. I don't know what he's talking about with interest on it, but maybe it's a loan. But like, people in that situation, this is why prices go down. It's like, you didn't take care of it. It is what it is where you are today. Nobody can get a mortgage. The problem is to push prices in real estate. You have to be financeable. If you're not financeable and the house needs repairs, that basement's terrible, guys. It's probably getting ready to give away. And it's got like black mold and what do you call it? Efferson on it.
It's mold.
It's mold. It's bad. It's not good. And you have to like pull the whole wall back, and people just keep kicking the can down the curb. So here's the offer today. If it solves it, if not, sit there with your problem, make no money, keep paying the bills on it. And eventually you're going to accept this price sooner or later anyway. Okay. So remember, when you make those offers like that, it doesn't work on a property listed with a realtor, especially in the last 30 to 90 days. And it's still a struggle with a realtor that has a property 180 days, although they're more open to it. So we want you to go off market, direct to seller. That's where you get the most. But deals like these, you just like a massive amount of follow-up. He's eventually has to take something because he didn't even have an offer after 200 days. That just blows me away.